Great understanding is broad and unhurried. Little understanding is cramped and busy.
A miracle is often the willingness to see the common in an uncommon way. Work at your job and make a living. Work on yourself and make a fortune. Life was not longer something to endure, but to live.
Lower your expectations, but never lower your standards. You don't have to like someone, but you have to treat them as you wish to be treated.
Trees that are slow to grow bear the best fruit.
When you surround an army, leave an outlet free. Do not press a desperate foe too hard.
I distrust every idea that doesn't seem obsolete and grotesque to my contemporary.
Unless you enter the tiger's lair, you cannot get hold of the tiger's cubs.
When you open your mind, you open new doors to new possibilities for yourself and new opportunities to help others.
Always blow your own trumpet. Blowing someone else's is unhygienic. The only limits for tomorrow are the doubts we have today.
Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. You have to realize that you are everything and more, just on your own. I never approve or disapprove of anything now. It is an absurd attitude to take towards life. Temptation is the feeling we get when encountered by an opportunity to do what we innately know we shouldn't.
Filter out the irrelevant noise. Focus on the objective.
The most important day in your life is the day when you come to realize who you really are.
I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it.
When we stop fighting against death, we are able to wake up to our lives. Your past is a place to learn and grow, not a place to live.
What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. Correct your mistake as soon as you have found it. The invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common. You can't blame gravity for falling in love.
Before something great happens, everything falls apart.
The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. It is truth that liberates, not your effort to be free.
There's a whole category of people who miss out by not allowing themselves to be weird enough. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing. Everything will turn out right. The world is built on that.
It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer.
You always know the truth because when you cut yourself or someone else with it, there's always a bloody show. You don't chase darkness out of the room with a knife or a broom. Instead, you turn on the light.
In the end, it will all work out okay. The end isn't final if we're not okay with it.
Heaven wheels above you, displaying to you her eternal glories, and still your eyes are on the ground.
All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree.
Dream your dream, and realize that you are more than just the dreamer. You are the point of origin for its reality.
The reason why the universe is eternal is that it does not live for itself. It gives life to others as it transforms. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way.
Bring forward what is true. Write it so that it's clear. Defend it to your last breath.
I am not good at noticing when I'm happy, except in retrospect.
Man is always prey to his truths. Once he has admitted them, he cannot free himself from them.
Convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies.
The bird of paradise alights only upon the hand that does not grasp.
If you think you have enough knowledge, you are still ignorant. Always be a learner. If I had it all to do again, there would be more bodies.
Humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. Do not look for happiness outside yourself. The awakened seek happiness inside.
I am the shore and the ocean, awaiting myself on both sides.
Life is like a coin. You can spend it any way you wish, but you only spend it once. The sharpest minds often ruin their lives by overthinking the next step, while the dull win the race with eyes closed. I'm not afraid of dying, I'm afraid of not trying. Very occasionally, you pay really close attention. Life doesn't suck. Remake the world, a little at a time, each in your own corner of the world. Life is short. If you doubt me, ask a butterfly. Their average lifespan is a mere 5 to 14 days. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy.
Your sacred space is where you can find yourself over and over again.
Feelings are real. They often become one's reality, but they are not always based on truth.
If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat.
Never put off for tomorrow what is meant for today. Tomorrow may never come. Learn how to be ambitious. Don't be a person who waits to be married off to someone wealthy. Knowledge, like air, is vital to life. Like air, no one should be denied it.
No matter how good you get, you can always get better, and that's the exciting part. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Courage is living by the free will that one creates for themselves, not the life of monotony determined by another. Hatred is a form of faith, distilled by passion to remove all rationality.
Attack where he is unprepared. Sally forth when he does not expect you.
Errors do not cease to be errors simply because they're ratified into law. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, then success is sure. Be not angry that you cannot make others as you wish them to be, since you cannot make yourself as you wish to be.
In your own life, it's important to know how spectacular you are.
What you believe you can receive, if you doubt it, you will do without it.
Even if you are on the right track, but just sit there, you will still get run over. There are people who have money and people who are rich.
When we least expect it, a new door opens on its own to take us where we belong. If you do not enjoy a moment, you lose it forever. If you enjoy it, it is yours forever.
Invincibility lies in the defense, the possibility of victory in the attack.
I am nothing more than the consequence of catastrophe. There is one who remembers the way to your door. Life you may evade, but death you shall not.
Never give up. Things that you keep dreaming about will happen one day.
Take risks, make bold decisions, and enjoy the journey of leaving your own unique mark in this world. One always has a better book in one's mind than one can manage to get onto paper. It takes as much courage to have tried and failed as it does to have tried and succeeded. From whichever side I start, I think I am in an old place where others have been before me. I can't seem to be a pessimist long enough to overlook the possibility of things being overwhelmingly good.
I live in my own little world, but it's okay. They know me here.
As if you could kill time without injuring eternity. There's nothing wrong with stretching the truth. We stretch taffy, and that just makes it more delicious.
A true genius admits that he knows nothing.
We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. Persistence guarantees that results are inevitable.
There's no greater show on earth than observing human nature.
Advice is like snow. The softer it falls, the longer it dwells upon, and the deeper it sinks into the mind. You don't get to pick where you're from, but you always have control of where you're going. I believe that a scientist looking at non-scientific problems is just as dumb as the next guy. Facts are like cows. If you look them in the face long enough, they generally run away. Only by examining our personal biases can we grow as artists. Only by cultivating empathy can we grow as people. Lies do not lie, truth do, in the times of any act lie hidden behind. 10 years from now, make sure you can say that you chose your life, you didn't settle for it. A hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is brave 5 minutes longer. Knowledge without practice is useless. Practice without knowledge is dangerous.
Do it now. Sometimes later becomes never.
Life gives us choices. You either grab on with both hands and just go for it, or you sit on the sideline. You don't have to choose between being scientific and being compassionate. Work for a cause, not for a clause. Live life to express, not to impress.
If you are far from the enemy, make him believe you are near. Life isn't worth living unless it is lived for someone else. Remember that you are only alive now. This is the only moment you have. Embrace it.
Nothing is ever complete. You just have to get it close enough that it makes you happy.
Not all things that fall down break. Some develop wings.
Everyone leaves. Learn how to survive alone. The worst thing about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth. An unbreakable mask and cunning are the keys for executing a plan flawlessly. There's a fire against us, and in the end, the fire could burn us or ignite us into an unstoppable force.
The way is to man as rivers and lakes are to fish, the natural condition of life.
The reason why the universe is eternal is that it does not live for itself. It gives life to others as it transforms. The bottom line is, insults only hurt when they come from someone I respect.
Sometimes you recognize truth because it destroys you for a bit. You never fail until you stop trying. The truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words the truth.
That truth should be silent. I had almost forgot.
Strange what being forced to slow down could do to a person. Feel your emotions, live true your passions, keep still your mind. If you fight with all your might, there is a chance of life, whereas death is certain if you cling to your corner.
There is no future without a past, because what is to be cannot be imagined except as a form of repetition.
The search for truth is more precious than its possession.
When I was about 8, I decided that the most wonderful thing next to a human being was a book. When all is said and done, all anyone has left is their integrity at their core. Don't give that away too. The more details, depth, and thought you put into your ideas, the more valuable they become.
People who belittle people will belittle people and will accomplish very little. The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. Everything is hard before it is easy.
Those who are wise won't be busy, and those who are too busy can't be wise. If you only write when inspired, you may be a fairly decent poet. You'll never be a novelist.
Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today. There are few reasons for telling the truth, but for lying, the number is infinite.
The pure present is an ungraspable advance of the past devouring the future. In truth, all sensation is already memory. Stop doing what is easy. Start doing what is right. There are some choices you can only make once. You can't go back to where you made a choice and then take the other one. Brilliance is impossible without a touch of insanity.
Communism is the final logic of the dehumanization of man. Home is where somebody notices when you are no longer there. A person's limitations are only measured by their drive to succeed. Even in the loneliest moments, I have been there for myself.
Sometimes the things and questions that make us angry are true in nature, or we know they are, deep down in our heart. Never let your past mistakes cause you to doubt your future.
I is for integrity. Be honest with yourself and others.
People have only as much liberty as they have the intelligence to want and the courage to take.
Imagining something is better than remembering something.
The wisest are the most annoyed at the loss of time. You must learn from your past mistakes, but not lean on your past successes.
Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great.
The right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing. It's always about timing. If it's too soon, no one understands. If it's too late, everyone's forgotten.
Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Knowledge is responsibility, which is why people resist knowledge. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you odd. Like the sun and moon, they end but to begin anew. Like the 4 seasons, they pass away to return once more.
The most wasted of days is one without laughter.
Begin by seizing something which your opponent holds dear. Then he will be amenable to your will.
Respect and take care of the people. It's for the people. In return, you get respect from the people. Give it your all, because greatness awaits those who rise to the occasion with unwavering determination.
In business, professionalism is not a tactic, but a moral value.
Don't blow off another's candle, for it won't make yours shine brighter. The Master said, "A true teacher is one who, keeping the past alive, is also able to understand the present." It is not enough to show how clever we are by showing how obscure everything is. Focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself.
There's more to life than simply increasing its speed.
Some stories wait their turn to be told, others just tap you on the shoulder and insist you tell them.
In fact, the truth cannot be communicated until it is perceived.
Take advantage of it now, while you are young, and suffer all you can, because these things don't last your whole life. It is difficult, when faced with a situation you cannot control, to admit you can do nothing. The power to change your life lies in the simplest of steps. When I explored my deeper mind, I could understand that my life is only an illusion, an apparent reality.
Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence.
It was amazing how it worked. The tiniest bit of truth made credible the greatest lies. Rowing harder doesn't help if the boat is headed in the wrong direction. When one has a grateful heart, life is so beautiful. Don't be afraid of the shadows, that only means there's a light nearby. People resist a census, but give them a profile page and they'll spend all day telling you who they are. We never realize just how many other lives we can help when their paths cross our own.
If you can't enjoy what you have, you can't enjoy more of it.
Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth.
Rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him.
The one who falls and gets up is stronger than the one who never tried. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying.
Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
There are no traffic jams along the extra mile.
Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive.
If you do not believe you are disciplined, it is because you have not decided to become disciplined. There's only so much emotional superglue in a person's soul that everything just stays broken. The best lies are based on the truth, at least in part.
Now I know what success is: living your truth, sharing it.
There are no environments where you're only going to win, because life just isn't like that. To be human is to be broken, and broken is its own kind of beautiful.
Someone else's progress doesn't make yours any less.
Success is not how high you have climbed, but how you make a positive difference to the world. Stay calm in times of trouble, and all the turbulence around you will obey you. If you wish to make Pythocles rich, do not add to his store of money, but subtract from his desires.
Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Even though the ship may go down, the journey goes on.
The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What would come, and you would have to meet it when it did. It's harder to make the glass than break the glass.
If you have the guts to be yourself, other people will pay your price.
If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Once you realize you deserve a bright future, letting go of your dark past is the best choice you will ever make. The only true failure is allowing fear of failure to prevent you from acting and pursuing your dreams. The purpose of literature is to turn blood into ink. Truth persuades by teaching, but does not teach by persuading. Day after day, we stuck nor breath nor motion, as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. Each affects the other, and the other affects the next, and the world is full of stories, but the stories are all one. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. Life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man could invent. Sometimes some lies that's spoken with high confidence could be more receptive than facts that's spoken with doubt. Wanting him to come back before anyone notices part of the world has not moved since he left. I never expect a perfect work from an imperfect man.
Travel light, live light, spread the light, be the light.
If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor.
You can't always be right, but you can be wrong a lot less.
People who know little are usually great talkers, while men who know much say little. Who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. Wisdom comes to us when it can no longer do any good.
Be grateful for what you already have while you pursue what you want.
You owe no one explanation of what you do, especially those who ask not to help but to judge you. To invent your own life's meaning is not easy, but it's still allowed, and I think you'll be happier for the trouble.
Without subtle ingenuity of mind, one cannot make certain of the truth of their reports.
I speak my own sins. I cannot judge another. I have no tongue for it.
Flow with whatever may happen, and let your mind be free.
In truth, Freud sees nothing and understands nothing. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time.
You are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you.
A day without laughter is like living in darkness. You try to find your way around, but you can't see clearly. One day can change your life, one day can ruin your life. All life is 3 or 4 big days that change everything. Life is like yoga. The only way you can enjoy it is by relaxing into any position you happen to find yourself in. Life teaches us the right path is rarely the easy one. If you really want the key to success, start by doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing.
If I have a platform and a voice, I should use it for my people.
The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will everywhere be weak. One can get used to ugliness, but never to negligence. Do not lose yourself in the crowd. You are the only one you've got. Take care of your soul. The forceps of our minds are clumsy forceps, and crush the truth a little in taking hold of it. Success will be within your reach, only when you start reaching out for it. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. If time is precious, no book that will not improve by repeated readings deserves to be read at all. Challenge and adversity are meant to help you know who you are. Storms hit your weakness, but unlock your true strength. One little ray of sunlight can do wonders in our life. If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
Great things are done by a series of small things brought together.
Learn from stars. Even in the dark, they give off light, not despair. Mistakes are stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Learn from them and move forward. Once you make it to your point of making it, you'll appreciate the struggle. I am afraid, not of life or death or nothingness, but of wasting it as if I had never been. Only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can. Truth would quickly cease to be stranger than fiction once we got as used to it.
As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. As long as you can use your hands, the world is your oyster. Don't let the fear of losing them keep you from loving them.
The past is apparition. The future, a shifting illusion. Time is a trick. This moment is all there is.
Some use drugs to silence the pain. Others use them to feel the pain they silenced.
If we encounter a man of rare intellect, we should ask him what books he reads. In life, you need either inspiration or desperation. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but they make a good excuse. The only thing that makes life possible is permanent, intolerable uncertainty, not knowing what comes next.
There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare.
In a world chasing trends, find solace in the everlasting embrace of authenticity and pure happiness.
Sometimes we create our own heart, breaks through expectation.
When you are on your path, and it is truly your path, doors will open for you where there were no doors for someone else. You lose nothing when fighting for a cause. In my mind, the losers are those who don't have a cause they care about. You can believe in whatsoever you like, but the truth remains the truth, no matter how sweet the lie may taste.
And remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
It matters not how fast light may travel, darkness shall always be there, awaiting its arrival.
People wealth consists upon their freedom, individual resources, and good social life.
It's the people who never learn the word impossible make history, because they're the ones who keep trying.
When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world.
I never ask a man what his business is, for it never interests me. What I ask him about are his thoughts and dreams. The spirit of a man is constructed out of his choices. Any fool can be happy. It takes a man with real heart to make beauty out of the stuff that makes us weep. When friendship is settled, you must trust. Before friendship is formed, you must pass judgment. Courage and perseverance have a magical talisman, before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish into air. When you make a choice, you change the future. If it's going to be a world with no time for sentiment, it's not a world that I want to live in. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Your mind must be stronger than your feelings. No matter what you do, someone always knew you would. When you are present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. We fool ourselves so much we could do it for a living. Men will not accept truth at the hands of their enemies, and truth is seldom offered to them by their friends. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. Good people are good because they've come to wisdom through failure. We get very little wisdom from success, you know. Beauty is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's about knowing and accepting who you are. Much of what was said did not matter, and that much of what mattered could not be said. I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.
He who pursues fame at the risk of losing his self is not a scholar.
I scream for everything that has gone wrong. I scream for everything broken in our lives. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. There are a dozen views about everything until you know the answer. Then there's never more than one. We hunt the flame, the light in the darkness, the good this world deserves.
Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power. I can't go into detail, but it's why I went to the special meeting at the Pentagon.
Though all men be equally frail before the world, the differences between them are terrifying.
Silence and non-action are the root of all things.
Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. You have two choices: to conquer your fear or to let your fear conquer you.
Show me that I am everywhere and get me home for tea.
I'd found out that if you pushed people away hard enough, they tended to go.
That is all very senseless, but this senselessness has a pretty mouth, and it smiles.
You are the magic code that unlocks your happiness. Listen to me, Thorfinn. You have no enemies. No one has any enemies. There is no one that you should hurt. All the stuff you can't wait to get away from, until it's not there anymore. And then you miss it like crazy.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
Failure is when you give up. A real winner is someone that doesn't give up, even when it feels like they are losing. I'm sorry for my inability to let unimportant things go, for my inability to hold on to the important things. The light at the end of the tunnel is just the light of an oncoming train. Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. This had seemed a safe choice, since to be against the Beatles is to be against life. You have forgotten the one who doesn't care about ownership, who doesn't try to turn a profit from every human exchange. A creative life cannot be sustained by approval any more than it can be destroyed by criticism.
If you listen to critics for too long, you will become deaf to success.
This is how the entire course of a life can be changed, by doing nothing. Learn as if you will live forever. Live like you will die tomorrow.
Some things in life are too complicated to explain in any language.
We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness.
The question is not what you look at, but what you see.
A thing worth having is a thing worth cheating for. Sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop yourself from crossing them again. Fear is oftentimes born of ignorance and misconception. It lays waste to the landscape of the soul. There isn't an end point to excellence where you have it and you can stop. Being your best self means keeping on trying. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents.
I would never die for my beliefs, because I might be wrong.
Perhaps the truth depends on a walk around the lake. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart.
She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate.
It is quite simple to live a life of progress. Have a vision and be committed to the process required for success. When we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men. The moment when you want to quit is the moment when you need to keep pushing.
Don't tie your success to anything other than what's inside you. Next to trying and winning, the best thing is trying and failing.
It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the questions much longer.
It is hard work and great art to make life not so serious.
With every part you act, there must be a little of yourself in it. There isn't, it's not acting. It's lying. Great is truth, but still greater from a practical point of view is silence about truth. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them.
The space under the sky is occupied by all things in their unity. Luck implies an absolute absence of any principle.
Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. It is rare for people to be asked the question which puts them squarely in front of themselves.
What seems to us as bitter trials are often blessings in disguise. We should forgive our enemies, but not before they are hanged. The secret to creativity is knowing how to hide your sources.
Life is too short to waste your time on people who don't respect, appreciate, and value you.
Your own positive future begins in this moment. All you have is right now. Every goal is possible from here.
Our soul wounds took time to show themselves, and they will take time to heal. And healing requires compassion. Creativity flows when the mind is light. Be light and ignite your imagination. For it can never be that war shall preserve life and peace destroy it.
I wouldn't have missed a single minute of it, not for the whole world. Man is no longer an artist. He has become a work of art.
Wisdom is the oneness of mind that guides and permeates all things. You cannot connect with anyone except through reality.
Karma is given, not to those who ask, but to those who ask of nothing.
Life is a waste of time, and time is a waste of life. So let's all get wasted and have the time of our lives. Knowing your why is much more important than setting a random goal. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. No power on earth, if it labors beneath the burden of fear, and possibly be strong enough to survive.
I speak gibberish to the civilized world, and it replies in kind.
There is only one kind of shock worse than the totally unexpected, the expected, for which one has refused to prepare. Know that true change is demonstrated only by your actions around everyone, not just certain people. Chase after the truth like all hell, and you'll free yourself, even though you never touch its coattails. It is a very funny thing that the sleepier you are, the longer you take about getting to bed. Ignorance isn't always the problem. Sometimes it's also the solution. Depends on how you see it. For some unknown reason, success usually occurs in private, while failure occurs in full view. Sometimes bad things have to happen before good things can. Time deals gently only with those who take it gently.
Whatever you believe with feeling becomes your reality.
If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. Live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. We have not been rewarded to evolve over our failures, but punished never to make mistakes again. There's no solution to life. There's going to be problems no matter what. Some people avoid thinking deeply in public only because they are afraid of coming across as suicidal.
From a certain point onward, there's no longer any turning back. We seek the fire of the spark that is already within us.
I prefer you to make mistakes in kindness than work miracles in unkindness.
To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day.
Live your life. Be happy as you can be. Let go of the things that don't matter, and fight. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. Status will get you nowhere. Only an open heart will allow you to float equally between everyone. Stress is a consequence of negative happenings or impact in life, but important is how to overcome it. No life is a waste, the Blue Man said. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we're alone.
Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have.
You cannot score a goal when you are sitting on the bench. To do so, you have to dress up and enter the game. No matter how slow you go, you are still lapping everybody on the couch.